85 says in the figure below, line AB and line CD are perpendicular. Perpendicular once again means that those two lines meet at a 90-degree angle. What is the perimeter of triangle ABC? All right, so let's find out what this is. This is a kind of tricky one, but really all it's asking is for the perimeter, which is that outside of triangle ABC. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight triangle ABC because you kind of see two triangles here. So triangle ABC is what I've highlighted. And as you can see, I already have a lot of numbers to deal with. I have 14 on this side. I have this side equaling 15. And I just don't know what this side is right here. Now this 12 right here, we might need it for later. But as of right now, I don't really have a good use for it. So let's find out if I really do need that. So here we go. So it's asking for the perimeter of triangle ABC. So perimeter is adding up all the sides. So I got 14 plus 15 plus x. I don't know what x is, and we want to find out what that equals. So we don't know that. So once again, this is not a Pythagorean theorem problem. It's very important to understand it's not. And the reason is because line ABC is not a right triangle. The Pythagorean theorem only works for right triangles. So what can we do here? What can we figure out? Well, first thing we can do is we need to find out what the perimeter of this little triangle inside is. And what the little triangle is triangle ACD. So let's find the perimeter of that before we really move on to anything else. Let me just go ahead and move some of these circles over here so I can erase. Whoops, I didn't mean to move that. There we go. Let's just move these circles. All right, let's get rid of these circles. So we're looking for the perimeter of the green triangle right now, because that's going to help us figure out what this amount is right here. So let's go ahead and do this. We cannot figure out what the perimeter of this green triangle is either, because we're missing two sides. Remember, if we want to use the Pythagorean theorem, we have to have at least two sides to figure it out. Here we only have one. We only know that this is 12. So now some of you might think, well, we're really stuck here. I can't figure out the area of the yellow triangle, and I can't figure out the area of the green triangle. So let's go ahead and try to find out the area of this bigger triangle inside or next to the little one, and I'll highlight it so you can see it. I don't have too many highlighting colors, so I'll highlight it in yellow again. So we're going to find out this one. Remember, the last time I highlighted this, it was the whole thing. Now, this one you might say, hey, we have all three sides because we have this side is 15, we have this side 12, and this side 14, but this isn't 14. 14 goes all the way to the end right here at A. Our point stops at D, right here. So I want to know how much this is right here, and obviously how much is left over right here, and that'll help me figure out my problem. This is a really difficult problem if you don't know what to look for. So it's going to take at least two Pythagorean theorems to figure this out. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's figure out the missing side, the length of the missing side for this yellow triangle. So we have a leg. We have this leg right here, which is 12. So we're going to put 12 squared. Let me go ahead and erase this right here, just in case you were confused why that's there. We have 12 squared plus the other leg I don't have. That's the one I'm looking for, which is going to be right here. So I'm going to put b squared equals c squared, which we know is the hypotenuse, and that is 15. All right, so 12 squared is 144 plus b squared, and 15 squared is 225. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 144. That's going to leave me with b squared equals, let's just borrow here. That's going to be 81. So b squared is 81. This is going to be a pretty easy one. Remember, if I want to get rid of the square, I have to square root it. That's going to give me b. And what I do to one side, I have to do the other. We know that the square root of 81 is 9 because 9 times 1, 9 equals 81. All right, so now we have our length of our missing side. So let's go ahead and write that right there. This is 9. Now, if this whole line from A to B is 14, and from D to B is 9, then that means this from A to D is the remainder of that. So what plus 9 equals 14? And we should know that that is 5. So now I have one of my missing sides here. All right, so now, does that help me? Yes, it does, because now I can go ahead and do the Pythagorean theorem on this smaller triangle. Let me just go ahead and erase this. And I'm going to start kind of again here. Just going to erase this. So from here to here, it is 9. And from here to here, it is 5. So now I'm looking for the missing side in triangle ACD, this little triangle, now that I have two sides. So the 90-degree angle is right here. One of the legs is 5. So we got 5 squared. And the other leg is 12. You can tell because they're both touching the 90-degree angle. So 12 squared equals this right here is my hypotenuse, which I don't know what it is. That is c squared. So 5 squared is 25 plus 12 squared, which is 144, equals c squared. So that's going to give me 961. I don't know why I put a 2 there. All right. 169 equals c squared. So of course I'm going to square root this and I'm going to square root that. I'm going to get c equals the square root of 169. Now I don't know what the square root of 169 is off the top of my head, and this is probably good because then I can show you how I can figure it out. So I know that the square 169, we got 169 by multiplying the same number twice because it's squared. So that's why I call it a square root. So I'm just going to go ahead and multiply my answers by 2 until I get one that equals 169. So I'm going to go ahead and start with A, which is 13. So 13 times 13, that's going to be 9, that's going to be 3, that's going to be 3 and 1. And I'm going to add these up. I get 960. All right, there you go. So the length of my missing side is 13. So I'm going to go ahead and put that over here. Now remember, it's asking us for what the perimeter of triangle ABC is. So let's figure out what that is. So the perimeter is all the sides added up, if you remember. So we have 13 plus 14 plus 15, 42. So my perimeter is 42. My correct answer is C. All right, 86, another Pythagorean theorem problem. So it says, what is the length of the side of this triangle, the missing side? So let's go ahead and figure this out. Remember, here's the 90-degree angle. So this is a leg, and so it's this. So we have the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So our legs are 15. We're going to square that. We don't know what the other leg is. That's why there's a question mark there. So we're going to leave it as b squared. And our hypotenuse is 17. So 17 squared. So 15 squared, I know that is 225 plus b squared equals 17 squared. I don't know what 17 squared is, so I'm just going to go ahead and multiply 17 by 17 manually to get that answer. That is going to give me 289. All right, so now that I have that, I'm going to go ahead and try to get b by itself. So I'm going to subtract 225 from both sides. Whoa. Minus 225, minus 225. This is going to cancel out. I'm left with b squared equals 64. So I'm going to find the square root of b squared, which is b. Now I have b by itself. The square root of 64 is 8. So the correct answer, the missing side, is 8. All right, it says 87. Sophia used a 8-foot rope to secure a 6-foot tent pole as shown. So there's the 6-foot pole right here. And here's the 8-foot rope right here. All right, approximately how far from the base of the pole is the rope tied? All right, so that means we're looking for how far this line down here is. So another Pythagorean problem, another Pythagorean theorem problem, and the reason I know it is because this is a right angle right there. So this is a right triangle. So Now this one, as you can see, it's kind of skewed. This triangle is kind of skewed. Let me erase my marks here, and you can see that the triangle is a little skewed. So I'm going to go ahead and redraw it. I'm just going to redraw it. It's not much better here. Actually, I have a special tool for this. Let's see if I can do it. There we go. That's nice. Okay, so here's my right angle. My pole is 6 feet right here, and then the hypotenuse, the rope, is 8 feet right here, and I'm looking for this right here. I'm looking for how far the rope is tied away from the pole. So, as we know, the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The legs are attached to the 90-degree angle right here, so 6 is a leg and x is also a leg. So we have 6 squared plus b squared. I'm going to leave it b instead of x. I always put x whenever I have a variable, but in this case it's okay to leave it as b. And then 8 is my hypotenuse, so we got 8 squared. 6 squared is 36 plus b squared. 8 squared is 64, so we're going to subtract 36 from each side. We want to get b by itself. This is going to cancel out. We're left with b squared equals, I'm actually going to move that over here. Okay, that's not going to go anywhere. Let's finish it over here. B squared equals 28. All right, so 28. So now, of course, I want to get b by itself, so I'm going to remove the square, and how I do that is I square root it. That means the square root and the square root cancels the square out, so all I'm left with is b. And of course, I have to square root 28. Now, I have no idea what the square root of 28 is, so once again, I'm going to have to figure it out. And I think I got a good way of doing this. So let me go ahead, and I know that 5 times 5 is 25. So I know it's more than 5, or I don't know why I just wrote 28, sorry. 5 times 5 is 25. So I know it's more than 5, so it must be 6. But 6 times 6 is 36. So it looks like it's somewhere in between 25 and 36. I don't understand, but there's no decimals here in my answers. So I'm going to go ahead and reread the question because maybe I got something wrong here. So it says, approximately how far from the base is the pole tied? Okay, I get it. I forgot. It's this one word, approximately. So that means how close is it? About how close. So I know it's more than 5. I know it's less than 6. What number is better? 5 or I know it's not 10. I know it's not 14. So I'm looking for a number that's somewhere in between 5 and 6. What's going to be closer, 5 or 7? I'm going to say it's A, 5 feet, because it's going to be 5 point something, and that's closer to 5 than it is to 7. So my answer is A, 5 feet is approximately the size of that line. All right, this one's a little small. It says, which parallelogram is congruent to parallelogram JKLM? So as you can see, let me zoom in for you here. All right, as you can see, it says which parallelogram is congruent to parallel JKM. Whoa. And as you can see, it looks like we have an angle that's 120 here, an angle that is 60 right here. We have one side is 5, one side is 4. So let's go down and see if we can figure this out. So A says this side is 80. It says 5 and 4, so that's good so far, but it says this side is 80. Well, I don't know what these two sides were in triangle and parallelogram JKLM, but I know that in a parallelogram, there's really only 2 types of angles, and they're going to cross each other. So this is 120, and this is 60 right here. So there's no 80 in this parallelogram, so it's not that one. Now right here it has 120, so that's right, and this has to be 80, because altogether they should equal 360, and the only way you can do that is getting it to get to 80. So, but the problem is here that one side is 4 and one side is 6. As you can tell up here in our original parallelogram, one side is 5, one side is 4. So that's not going to be right either. We're going to cross out B. And same thing with C. One side is 5, which is fine, but one side is 3. That's not right. And then we have 60 right here. That's not right either. All right, through process of elimination, my answer is D, but I'm just going to make sure. Okay, I got the right sides, 5 and 4. And a 120 is right too, so 120 has to be this angle here, which is right. And remember, these two angles that are left over are congruent as well. So we have 240 angles degrees of angles already in the parallelogram. We only have 160 degrees of angles left. It has to be 80 and 80, which means it matches up perfectly with my first parallelogram. The correct answer for this is D. All right, 89 says, which figure contains two congruent triangles? So let's go ahead and zoom in once again. So we have this shape right here, quadrilateral. As you can see, there are two triangles. Are they congruent? Remember, congruent means same. So are these two triangles the same? Well, they don't look the same, but looks can be deceiving a little, I guess. So let's go ahead and look at the markings on it to make sure that they're not the same. As you can see, the congruent line right here tells us that these two sides are the same length, but then this one has two, which means that it's different than one, so these two are not the same. These triangles are not the same. Cannot be. All right, trapezoid. Well, they share this line, which is good, so they have this line in common, these two triangles, and they do have this side in common as well because they both have these two congruent lines. But bottom line, it doesn't look like this is the same length as this. If it did, it would have some type of congruent line. This is not congruent. These two triangles are not congruent here. Let's go ahead and zoom down. Parallelogram. All right, so we have these two sides are congruent because of the one line right there. We got these two sides congruent. All right, so far so good. Now, this line is the last line. Now, it doesn't have congruent lines on it, but they share the line, which means it has to be the same size. It absolutely has to be. So it looks like this is it. I'm just going to double check my last one to make sure that this is it. It looks like all these have the same amounts of lengths of sides. I'm just going to do this one. So these match. That's good. And this one matches in the middle that they share. But these out here, they don't match. And the reason we know they don't match is because we can tell that this one right here is longer. But they don't have congruent lines going through them either. The correct answer is not D. The correct answer, we had it already. It was C. All right, 90 says the height of the pyramid below is represented by which segment? So we're looking for the height of the pyramid. So the height, obviously, when we have a person, I'm going to draw my person right here. When we have a person and we want to know their height, we measure them from top to bottom or from bottom to top. Now, if this was me, I'd be 7 feet tall. Oh, just kidding. I'm really not that tall. So, which one is the height? Which represents the height? Look at my answers right here. Let's start from the bottom. We got V. Okay, that's not how you measure height. Okay, I don't think that is. We got U. No. Let me just cross those out. We got T. Hey, we're getting better. We're getting vertical at least. But that doesn't look like it. And then last, right here in the middle, we got S. It looks like it starts from the base and goes all the way to the apex. So this would be a good representation of height. The correct answer for this problem is S. All right, let's go ahead and do 91. 91 says the box and whisker plot below represents the daily high temperature at the beach in April. So here's this, as you can see, it's a box and whisker plot. The question is asking us, what is the median daily high temperature? So remember in class we went over that median kind of sounds like medium, and that medium is the middle size of small, medium, large. So medium means the middle. So box and whisker plots is something we covered in the beginning of the year, but you should remember that this line that separates the two boxes right here is the medium right there, the median. So let's go ahead and find out what that is. That looks like it's right over this number. Might be 71, but let's see if that's 71, 72, 73, 74, 75. No, it looks like it's going by 2. 72, 74, 76, 78, 80. Okay, it's going by 2s, so that's 72 degrees Fahrenheit. This one is a little difficult if you don't remember how to find the medium in a box and whisker plot, but it should be, after watching this, you should remember that it's right here in the middle. It's the line separating the two boxes. So 92 says the scatter plot below shows an average traffic volume and average vehicle speed on a certain freeway for 50 days in 1999. And as you can see, it does show a trend. If we can follow the scatter plot, it looks like it's going downward. From left to right, it's going downward, so it has a negative slope. So that means whatever's on the y-axis is going down as x is increasing. So the question says, which statement best, important word there, describes the relationship between the average traffic volume and average vehicle speed shown in the scatter plot? So let's check this out. So on the bottom here, we have average traffic volume. And as you can see, it's going forward. As time goes by, the traffic volume is increasing. So as the traffic volume increases, as it's going this way, what is going on with the y-axis, which is average vehicle speed? So let's take this for example, this one spot right here. So the average vehicle speed right here is high, but the traffic volume is low. So as traffic volume is low, the speed is high. So then let's take one at the other end right here. So the traffic volume is now high, which means there's more cars on the road, and that means that the speed decreases. And that makes sense because more cars on the road, there's going to be more traffic, and your speed you're not going to be able to get your speed up that high. Okay, so let's see which one of these falls into that. A says, as traffic volume increases, vehicle speed increases. Okay, I don't think that's true because as we can see, as the volume increases, the traffic decreases. That's why it's going down. So it's not A. B says, as traffic volume increases, vehicle speed decreases. Well, I think that's exactly what we were looking at. The traffic volume is increasing over here, and the speed is decreasing right there. So it looks like it is going to be B. I'm going to circle it. I'm not totally 100% sure yet. I still have to read my other answers. C says, as traffic volume increases, vehicle speed increases at first, then decreases. Well, I don't think that's true. And if that was true, my graph would look something like this. So let's pretend this is my coordinate plane right here. So it says, as traffic volume increases, speed increases at first, but then decreases. So we'd have a gain and then it goes down. So your graph would look something like this. Our graph is clearly a line going straight down. It doesn't look like it goes up and then down. So that's not going to work. It's not C. All right, and D says, as traffic volume increases, vehicle speed decreases at first, then increases. Well, once again, that's going to look the opposite of the first one we did, of C, I mean. So let's see, as traffic volume increases, speed decreases, so speed is going down, and then increases, so it goes back up. Okay, that's not right. That's not what our graph looks like. So that just confirms that my answer is B. 93, another box and whisker plots. I can tell just by looking at it. It says the following data represents the number of years different students in a certain group have gone to school together. 12, 5, 8, 16, 15, 9, 19. These data are shown on the box and whisker plot below. So here's my box and whisker plot right down here. And here it is represented to the number line up here. So it says, which is the median? All right, it's another median problem. Remember, the median is the middle number of your data, and we know that the middle number in the box and whisker plots is the line that connects the two boxes right here, that splits it off into two boxes, I should say. And that's right above the 12. So our median is 12. Pretty easy to find on a box and whisker plot. All right, 94 says the table shows the number of turkey and ham sandwiches sold by Debbie's Deli for several days in 1 week. All right, so here's the whole graph on the whole sales of turkey and ham sandwiches. What is the difference between the median number of turkey sandwiches sold and the median number of ham sandwiches sold? Once again, another median problem. They're really going crazy with median problems today. So remember, median is the middle number. And whenever we do any median or mean, median, and mode problems, our first step is always to put the numbers in order. So let's go ahead and put them in order first. So I'm going to do the turkey sandwiches first. Let me see. My first number, my lowest number is 7. I'm going to cross them out so I don't write it again. 8, 12, 13, and 15. And I cross both those out. So as you can see, my median, my middle number, is 12. I can figure that out by crossing one out at a time on either side, and I'm left with 12 in the middle. Let's find our ham sandwiches, our median of ham. We got 6. Cross it out. 8, 9, 11, and 16. So once again, I'm going to cross out one from the left, one from the right, one from the left, one from the right, and I have my middle one is 9. So what's the question again? It says, what is the difference between turkey sandwiches sold and ham sandwiches sold? So as you can see with this, it's 12 and 9. That's a difference of 3. I can simply subtract it to make sure. 12 minus 9 is 3. Okay, so my answer would be D, 3. 95 says, Jared scored the following number of points in his last 7 basketball games. 8, 21, 7, 15, 9, 15, and 2. Hey, look at this. See how this and 2 is just hanging around over here? It's kind of separated from the other ones over here. It might be important to not forget that one. What is the median? Median again. Number of points scored by Jared in the 7 games. So once again, let's go ahead and put these in order. 2 is the lowest one. I'm going to cross it out, put it over here. Then looks like 8 is the next lowest. 9. Oh, I missed 7. Okay, I'm going to put 7 in right here. You know what? It's best I just start all over. I don't want to make a sloppy little chart here. So remember, sloppy work leads to sloppy answers. So I don't want to have a sloppy answer. I want to get this one right. Got 2 15s. I got 21. All right, so middle number. Let's cross one out at a time, one each side. Boom, boom. All right, looks like our median is 9. The middle number is 9, so that is the median. 96. 96 says the total value of productions for several commercial vegetables is rounded to the nearest million in the table below. So we have different vegetables, asparagus, broccoli, stuff like that. What is the median of the data? We are median crazy today. Well, that's good. Median is easy to find, so it shouldn't be a problem. Once again, I'm going to go ahead and put my numbers in order. Anytime I do medium, I'm sorry, I keep messing that up. A mean, median, or mode type of problem. I always want to put them in order. It's just easier to work with. So I got 18, it's the lowest number, followed by 60, it looks like. Then I got 120, 169, 217. I'm going to run out of room here, so let me move this. All right, next one is 279, followed by 284, and last 338, and that covers all of them. Okay, so if I want to find the median, it is the middle number. I'm going to cross out one at a time on each side. That's the way I do it, just to make sure I can count them and find the odd one in the middle, but I like this way better. Okay, now I have a little bit of a problem. I have 2 numbers in the middle. There is no true middle here. So if you remember, if you have an even amount of numbers, you're going to end up with 2 numbers in the middle. The way you find the median here is you go ahead and add them both together and then divide by 2. So I'm going to add 169 to 217. That's going to give me 16 over here, 8, and 3. So 386 is my answer if I add them together. Now I have to divide it by 2 because I want to find the middle number for it. So divide by 2, that's 1. 18, that's going to be 9. And 6, that's going to be 3. So it looks like the middle number is 193. Let's see if it's over here. Yep, $193. B is your correct answer for 96. All right, guys, I hope that helped, and I hope you had a good time listening. I hope you guys learned something. Remember, the whole reason we're doing this is so we can practice for our CST test. So hopefully you'll learn a lot, and if you have any problems, make sure you come back and view the videos. Okay, guys, see you in class.